Welcome back to our channel, Retired and Loving It, and welcome back to another Coffee Talk. I'm Terry.
And I'm Keith.
And today we're going to talk about the 10 best things about being retired.
And the very first thing, number one, is there is no commute.
Wow, that's a big one right there. We kind of talked about it in our last Coffee Talk about the expense of the commute, but we didn't talk about the stress of the commute. And anyone who drives in a metropolitan area, there's a lot of stress involved with going to the morning rush hour.
I had to go to Louisville every day, and it was about a 35-minute commute back and forth, and it was very, very stressful at times.
Yes. Now, I just worked in a rural area, so for me, there wasn't a lot of stress for the commute, but some people, even Keith's Drive, if you live in Houston, Texas, for example, where they have 8 lanes of traffic, it's, Keith's commute is nothing compared to that.
It's a breeze compared to that.
But the commute can be very stressful, and so, yay, you don't have that when you retire.
And number two, there is less stress.
Yes, and that has to do with the commute.
Yes.
But just the thought of you don't have to go to work, you don't have deadlines to meet. I mean, I don't think we realize the amount of stress that we're under until you're not under it anymore, and it's like a weight has been lifted off. Keith had a very high stress job, and mine was very high stress at times. So I just don't think you realize the amount of stress that you have until you're not under it anymore.
And the less stress you have, the better health you're going to have.
That's true, because it really affects your health.
Point number 3 is that there is no alarm to set. You only set your alarm when you want to, not when you have to.
Wow, I love that one. Because we got up at 4:30 every morning when we worked. Because a lot of times I would get on the treadmill before work, because after work, you talk yourself out of it. But even there at the end, I wasn't doing that, but we would get up at 4:30 just to get everything done. He had to leave the house before 6:30 in the morning. And now just to know that we don't have to set the alarm, unless we have somewhere we have to be, but we usually wake up on our own by 6 a.m. because the sun's up, we're ready to get up and start our day, but it's so much better.
Every day is like a vacation. You just get up when you want to. And most of the time we get up early now, about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now we go to point number 4. You can wear whatever you want.
Yes. I worked in an office, and for a long, long time, I dressed up. Wore heels a lot of the time, and just to get up and put on whatever I want. Wear a t-shirt, jeans.
What a great feeling that is to know that you don't have to put this on or that on. You can put on shorts, you can put on jeans, whatever you want.
And that's a lot less expense as well. Because when you work in an office and you feel like you have to look professional, you have to have professional clothes.
Yeah, that's very expensive.
But when you're retired, this is our attire.
Yeah. Now, point number 5, you can spend more time with your spouse or with your loved ones.
Oh, that's such a good perk of being retired. Because when we both worked, we spent the bulk of our day at work.
Yeah.
And only saw each other a little bit in the evenings because the mornings was so crazy. So being retired does give you a lot more time to just spend together.
Because you're spending, in my case, 8 hours at work, 2 hours of drive time, probably a good hour, maybe more, getting ready for work, and etc. So you can spend more time now with the people you want to be around.
And that's a great perk of being retired.
Now we're going to point number 6, and that is you can be more spontaneous. You can do things on the spur of the moment that you couldn't do before.
Yeah, if you wake up one morning and say, hey, let's go to that state park and spend the day, you can do it.
Yep.
It's just, you don't have to plan as far in advance. You can just get up, and if you decide you want to do something, you can just
go ahead and do it. Point number 7, you can do the things that you love.
Wow. When you're working, you have to do what other people will tell you to do, or things that maybe you don't love to do. But when you're retired, the agenda is whatever you make it.
You're the boss now. You do things you want.
And so if you love fishing and you want to go fishing, you can go do it. You don't have to wait for a day off or wait for whatever. You can just do what you want.
Yep. And that leads to point number 8. You can do more exercise. You have time now to exercise, whether it be on the treadmills, at a gym, outside walking, or just like playing golf, or you can do anything you want to get more exercise. Take walks.
And that's so important when you retire, because you want to maintain your good health.
Yes.
And the way you do that is through exercise. Now in the wintertime, we have a treadmill in the basement, an elliptical machine, and a stationary bike and hand weights. We use that in the wintertime. But now that it's nice weather outside, one of the first things that we do every day is we get up, we have our coffee, we do our devotionals, we just, spend time relaxing, and then we get dressed and go for a walk. And we live in a rural area, so we can walk down our road, and we walk about 1.5 miles, and it's very enjoyable, and it keeps us healthy, and that's very important when you retire.
And you feel good when you're done. You come back, think, that felt good. You've done your exercise. And then point number 9 kind of leads to point number 9. You have more time to travel.
And that's one thing that we put on our agenda for retirement, is we both love to travel.
Yes.
We love to see new places and do new things. And even during COVID, we were able to get out and do some things that's close by, that's close to us. Because when you work, there's a lot of local things that we didn't have time to go see or do. But now that we're retired, we sit down with our calendar and we plan things out, such as today, we were going to go videotape at a cave. However, it rained last night.
Yes.
So the cave is closed because there's a lot of water that runs through the cave, and during those times they have to close the cave. So today's agenda was scratched.
Yeah. We decided to do some coffee talk.
To do some more coffee talks. So, our calendar is our own. Nobody tells us you have to do this or you have to do that.
And that was point number 9. You can do what you want and more time to travel. And that leads to point number 10, that you're more relaxed. How good does that feel to know that you're relaxed? You don't have anything you have to do. Again, you're your own boss. You can do what you want. You can change anything you want.
There's nothing like relaxation without stress. And like I said before, when you're working, you don't realize the stress that you're under until you retire and you're not under that stress anymore. And then you're like, oh my goodness, it's just such a great feeling.
There's probably a lot more points than the 10 that we gave you.
They're the ones that we decided to talk about today. I so much appreciate you joining us for our little coffee talk. And we hope that you'll join us next time. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow. So we'll see you next time on Retired and Loving It. If you'd like to see more of our videos, click the video that just popped up on your screen.